Mr. Vinny Appice.
All right. Okay, hello everybody. I'm Vinny Apache, not a piece. Hello, Angelo's watching. Angelo Arcuri, the world famous, unbelievable, amazing engineer who engineered the first 4, maybe 5 Dio records, especially Holy Diver. Man. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today. And it's been a fun day today and over the weekend. But I did an interview yesterday with some I did an interview with a podcast with some friends. It's a pretty good show, and we talked about Holy Diver. Because, as you know, there's a remastered Mob Rules is out. I got it over there. It's a vinyl and a CD. And then there's also Heaven and Hell album, which I didn't play on, but what an amazing album. And so we did an interview, and usually it's about that. And it's the same stories all the time. It's like, oh, how did you get in Sabbath? And how did you do this and this? And, oh, you played with John Lennon? Holy shit. One interview was the guy was reading the other interview that I did the week before. I said, why don't you just post that interview? How did you meet John Lennon? How did you do this? How come you pronounced the name different? So we explained that when Carmine was on the show and you saw it. I was very educational. And so this one was cool. It was about Holy Diver, and he wanted to go song by song, whatever I remembered. Most of it I didn't remember. We recorded that at Sound City with Angelo Arcuri was the engineer, Ronnie producing. And you play that album, and it still sounds great. The sounds on it sonically, it's amazing. So great job, Angelo. Unbelievable. So that was a good interview, and I told him about a couple of Easter eggs that were on there. One of them was a backwards thing on the last song called Shame on the Night. At the end of the song and the fade out, there's something backwards on there because everybody always used to accuse Sabbath of, when we were in Sabbath, that version, of playing it backwards and all hell breaks loose, but we never did anything backwards, We did it frontwards. I like doing that stuff. It's crazy, Do Big Phil, you're playing live. I do that to Vivian Campbell. He starts laughing all the time. Yeah, it's fun. You gotta have fun. So it's fun. So that was a good interview, and so the backwards thing is on Shame on the Night, and what Ronnie says is, that's what he said. But if you play it backwards, he says, crucify the diver. It almost sounds like what Ozzy says normally when it's backwards. And then, speaking of Ozzy, So I'm doing all these interviews, and when 1980 was a good year. I actually got a call from Sharon Osbourne before Sabbath telling me that she's putting a band together with Ozzy. Ozzy was out of Sabbath. It's in Hollywood. And, yeah, he was having a drink here and there, let's say. And I got the offer to go, she'll fly me to England, hang out with Ozzy, and see how it goes for, if we get along, put the band together. First of all, there was no band yet. And I was like, 21 years old, and I never really been out of the country. And I'm like, wow, England, that's far. I don't think I've been on a plane ride that long, 10 hours. Can I bring my drums on the plane? Wouldn't that be pleasant, You're on the plane and all of a sudden you hear that. That would wake everybody up. So I thought about it. I said, okay, I'll call you back. Let me think about it. And I spoke to my brother Carmine, who knows Ozzy and Black Sabbath. They played together in the 70s. It was Black Sabbath and Carmine's band Cactus. It was a pretty crazy time. A lot of drugs and stuff. Yeah, my brother. Not me. And so Carmine said, yeah, he's kind of crazy, and who knows, it's just something that could be good or crazy. So I actually called back. I said, you know what? I can't do it right now. I really appreciate it. Very nicely replied that, I'm not going to do it. And sorry, I had some other commitments, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I said. So then I said it nicely. And then here's what happens with these interviews. So, I was very cordial with Sharon, and I'm not going to do it. Thank you for thinking of me. My God. Now, here's the headline in UltimateGuitar.com. Vinny Appice explains why he refused to join Ozzy's band. Recalls what led to Dio quitting. Come on. What did I refuse? There was no band to begin with. I didn't refuse it. I was invited to it or whatever, but I didn't go. I refuse to go play with Ozzy in England. I refuse it. Thank you. I see this stuff and I go, God damn, they take anything you say that could be a gossip, And this happened last week again with Bill Ward. I love Bill. He's the sweetest guy in the world, and I love his drumming. He's one of my one of my heroes. And it had nice things to say about him and stuff. And then when I met him after I joined Sabbath, I met him at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, and Bill was still having a drink here and there, and things didn't go that well with me meeting Bill. Plus, I was this young kid taking over his spot in Black Sabbath. How did he feel too? I wouldn't feel good about that. So that was another one where it got blown up and said, Vinny, a lot of nasty things about Bill. Meanwhile, I just read something that Bill said about me in one of these interviews, and he was telling me I was a really great drummer and how different we are, because Bill always says he's a percussionist. And that's why you hear those parts in those songs, end of Iron Man, da da da. He played something like that. He played a lot of percussion parts. And what about the world famous, one of the best drum parts in the world? I mean, come on, is that not? I play that, you know what song that is. Right? That's almost a jazz thing. That's what Bill said. It's like a jazz feel to it. Like that. So anyway, got that in my system. I mean, he could have played, like a generals gathered in masses. Could have made a disco. But instead, it was that. That was evil, man. Great parts Bill played. So anyway, so he had some nice things to say about me, saying I was more of a rock drummer, straight ahead, rock drummer, and I played really well on the albums I made with Sabbath and Dio. He loved the Dio album, Holy Diver. And then they go put this other shit out with the headline, at the Rainbow, leaves through, the emergency exit. Crazy. It's like Gossip Town. I've been working a lot on these. These spread kind of rolls, and I love those. I'll get more into it in a minute. So anyway, that's what's going on with all these interviews. I got one more. Got one more on Thursday. Then that's it. Because I'm sick of telling the whole same story again. How did you do this? How did that work? Sometimes there's a unique question, but very rarely. And then this weekend, the band Liliac, who are good friends now, and Florin, their father, manager, producer, recording engineer, merch guy, everything. He oversees everything. He's great. They all came over and to visit because they were back in California. And that's a great band, something new. They're young, and it's really killer band. And Melody singing is just insane. She sounds like a female Ronnie. She loves Ronnie, so I had a lot of Dio stuff in the house. I hung a couple extra pieces up, too, because I knew she would like to see them. So that the band, they were all come in and they go, wow, look at that. So it was pretty cool, We hung out. And then Flora and I were talking about recording and stuff, because he records the band, and how steady. He goes, do you play with a click? I said, no, I constantly hear whatever tempo I'm in, this, like a metronome. So anyway, the whole point of that was playing it steady. See, I'm still in that tempo, not rushing. And when you do the fills are in that tempo. The fills do not rush, especially when you get to the ends, because I see some guys, they do fill and it rushes at the end. Like, you hear that? You don't want to rush the fills. You got to go. Everything's in time. There's plenty of time. A lot of times I'll do a fill and you see it's like a hole, See? So keep it steady and it sounds powerful. So that's the whole trick to learning how to play drums and guitar too. If you listen to Iommi, he plays these chords, man, it just laid down in cement, and it's so easy to play to because it's right in the pocket, just right in there. So it sounds heavier, So even the fast rolls, I'm not rushing them. All right, so really what it is the SSS, and it's not what you think. It's when you learn how to play, you go slow. You go slow. All right, you learn that. Say the foot, right, left foot, like that. Slow. Next one's steady. See, that's nice and steady. And then speed is last. You do the speed last until you got to get slow and steady first. Once you got it steady, then you go. See? So that's it. Slow and steady, SSS. Speed's last. Okay. So let me adjust this guy here. And on sale this week on the sidebar is the seat, the ChromaCast seat. I love this seat. It's the most probably overlooked part of the drum set. It's not any seat will do. Even when you're younger, you can get away with these crappy seats and they wobble and they're not so big. But then they came out with the bicycle seat, couple of years back. And these things are so comfortable and they go up in the back. So this seat is an incredible seat. It's got 3 legs, double braced, and the vinyl cover. It's got air conditioning, heat, the whole thing, this seat. And it's on sale for, I think, 20% off. I could be wrong, but check it out on the side, ChromaCast. Every show we kind of have a sale, for these products because they're great. And the drums, everything's ChromaCast, which is Sawtooth Drums. That's a mother, ChromaCast's mother. This is the sister and brother here, the company. So, but the hardware is ChromaCast. So the seat is a ChromaCast seat. These are ChromaCast stands, all of them. And the cool thing with these stands, I don't know if you can see it over here, right there is a lever. That lever will control the up and down and the side to side in one shot. You don't have to do two different wing nuts. I used to use the 2 different wing nuts. And I go, I need to pull the thing up a little bit. And I do the wrong wing nut, and the whole stand would drop. Oh, shit. And then put it back up. This is cool. You loosen that guy, put it wherever you want it, and tighten it, just like I did here, So these are ChromaCast stands, and they're very strong. Again, triple legs, double brace. This is a 2-legged hi-hat, which I normally don't like, but this one's pretty steady, because I play like this. Sometimes, when I'm doing this simulated double bass. So, I'm constantly on the hi-hat, and it moves a little bit, but it's got to be moving. I'm doing that pretty hard. Okay, and the stands, everything's ChromaCast hardware. These drums are just the value. These are poplar wood. I think they're like 3-ply or 4-ply, 3 or 5-ply. There are plies there, I know that. And this is poplar wood. Sounds great. The poplar wood is kind of a nice warm sound, but it has a lot of ring to it. And this is a 12, 13, 18. Never got that down really good. Alternating. Like that. And the bass drums are 24 by 14. 14 allows the air out a little quicker than the deeper bass drums. 14s were like from the 60s and 70s. You look at those drums, a lot of guys use 22 by 14s, and they're fast and they sound good. And then the snare, this is the hickory snare, 6-inch, beautiful drum. You've seen this before if you watch the show. This drum rocks. It's got die-cast hoops. It's got double bearing edges, and it stays tuned where you want it. And the snare's got a heavy-duty throw-off. Like I leave the snares loose. Hear that? I like it like that because the note's longer. It's like snares rattle. I like the dirty sound. See, I don't like it like this. To me, that's like milk plain. This is like chocolate milk. So that's the way I keep the snare. A little bit of rattles on the snare drum. So this is a great hickory snare drum. This doesn't come with the kit. This is called the Command Series kit. And the other drum is just the matches the finish, obviously, and it's a 5-inch. And that sounds great. I've been recording with that. I played live with it with Last in Line. And great sounding kit, and it's really, really a great value for the if you're looking for a new drum set or you're looking for a better drum set than you have, So check it out on the side. They always have this stuff on sale. Maybe next show some of the drums will be on sale. Cymbals are double. I'm gonna play one more song. Cymbals are double A Sabian. These are 14. See, they're fast. Nice and fast. Although my brother Carmine went to 15s, I said, I don't like 15. They're too big, to do this kind of stuff. These are double A's. 18s, I think that's a 20, and this 20 medium ride, that's what I use as a basic kit here. Skins are all G2s. Evans. On the snare, this is a reverse dot. The dot is underneath, and it's a little louder kind of head. And this sounds great in the studio. I think I got a good sound here today. So a lot of these things, these are kind of spread out. Bonham did something like this. I picked up on it not long ago. That's pretty cool, It's spread out. You're playing on almost the whole kit. Like, basically, you're just going 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 3, 4, 1 and 2. Right? Very cool sound. And if you record like this, it's very cool because you'll have these toms panned, you know. And if you did it like this, would be panned more to the left, or actually to the right. This would be panned to the left, and it's great when you're listening with headphones. It's going all over the place. So that's all it is 1 E and a 2 E and a, bringing the 16th notes over to the drums. You could do it with triplets too. The basic one for that is 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. Starting on the floor. 1 and a 1 and a 2 and. There's so many different ones you can do. Every time I go, and I'm going to do it slow. Where's that? It's harder to do it slow. So, anyway. Start getting crazy with this stuff, you know, triplets like this, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, right? 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and it's crazy stuff, crazy. All right, I'm going to play one song here, but I'm going to show you something right here I found. Because that's, since I moved into this room, we had all these boxes, and I went through the boxes, and this is the book of charts. When I first joined Sabbath, check it out. Book of charts. Right? And I found this, and this was my chart book for this set list that we were going to do in 1980. Like, here's what my chart looked like, and there, on the other side of the page is the set list. Hopefully. Neon Nights. See, so on this side we started with War Pigs. Then it says there was a bomb. War Pigs bomb. Neon Nights, NIB, Children of the Sea, Sweet Leaf, drum solo. Now there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drum solos at the 5th song. That's kind of right up front. I'm not warmed up yet for drum solo at 5th song, but hey, who am I to complain? I'm playing with Black Sabbath. Then the song Black Sabbath. Then the end of Sabbath goes into Heaven and Hell. The end of Heaven and Hell goes into Iron Man. No, I'm sorry, Black Sabbath ends. Sorry. Then we do Heaven and Hell, goes into Iron Man. Tony Iommi does a guitar solo. Then he starts the beginning of Die Young, which is a nice transition, right? After Die Young, Paranoid. Then at the end of Paranoid, we go back to the Heaven and Hell riff. Encore, Children of the Grave. Right? That was another one of Bill's percussion. And then these are just charts. Here's a chart for Iron Man. Looks pretty complicated, but not. You see that? Yes. Fireman. This should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Come on, look at this. And then what I did on one sheet, this sheet here, it says the song, and to the left is who starts it. War Pigs, me. So I go, okay, War Pigs, I start it. It started like this. Out of time, that's out of time, see? See how steady? Nice and steady and strong. So if that's something that's out of time, you know, and go, watch me. Bam, the band's got a hit with me. It's not in time. I always tell everybody that. Sabbath did it naturally. Obviously, I followed them. Neon Knights, what does that say? Me. Okay, so there's all these intros in here. So this got me through learning all these songs quick and not trying to make mistakes and stuff. So anyway, that's the book. And I had another book that I brought on the road. This one, I don't know how I got two of these books. It's the book I had, first gig in Hawaii we did ever. It was an outside stadium, 30,000 people. And I had the book there, and it started raining midway through. The book got all wet, and it was useless. So we were just winging it after that. I don't know if anybody ever seen that show, but it was winged at the end. And I threw the book out. I think I signed it, and I threw the book out in the audience at the end of the show. I said, this is my book. All right, I'm going to play one more song, and I'm going to bring La La Lollipop in. She's got her own mic. We're upgrading here. How about that? This is a song about Angelo Arcuri, our engineer. Angelo, if you're still here, check it out. And thanks, everybody, for watching, and all the Charlie and Paul and Angelo and Heidi and AC and JC and Mo, Larry, and Curly, too. They're always there. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Is it going?
You might see someone you don't know.
was a backwards fill. I did that a long time ago in Derringer. Instead of going, you know. Those are pretty cool. So that song, Caught in the Middle, Holy Diver. And if you notice that song, I'm playing. It's the only song I ever played. The chorus is kind of on the hi-hat. Then the verses were on the right. See? So it's a very odd way I played that. I don't know why. I just heard it that way. You know? And then those fills going into the halftime. And then there's two of those, and then there's the long one. That's where I go crazy, those kind of things. Second, the third one, the heaviest one, the longest one. Go nuts. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We have La La Lollipop in the house to ask questions. So post your questions up there. And she's got her own microphone. Hello, La La.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I have a microphone now.
Can you guys hear her? Listen.
Oh my gosh, yay!
Wow, that sounds good. Rather than me going, what?
What? Huh? What?
That's all I do every day. Now, what? Put the
What?
closed caption on. Oi. That's from 40 years of playing loud. It's Angelo's fault. Started with him, you know. When we made Holy Diver, we used to play it through like the big speakers that they had up in, you know, the studio, Sound City, the big giant speakers. At the end of the night, let's crank it up, you know. And we would play it, and it would be so loud, it would make your pants legs shake. But it sounded great, you know. People don't do that anymore. Now they use little monitors and stuff, you know. It's good because they save their ears because you don't want to do this. Okay, what do we have for questions there?
Okay, how long have you been with Last in Line?
Last in Line started in maybe 2014, and so it was the original band, obviously with Jimmy, Claude Chanel on keyboards, Jimmy Bain on bass, Viv, and then Andy Freeman on vocal. And then it turned out with losing Claude, unfortunately. He's a good buddy, great keyboardist. And then we continued, and then we got one album recorded, made, and then we started going on tour, and that's when Jimmy passed away. So I've been with him for 6 years, you know, 6 years. And we're still going. We're working on a new song now. We're going to finish the album. We're getting a new record deal. Everything's happening. We've got some gigs in October. Happening. I'm playing in June with my buddy Mike Carr, who's online too. Great guitar player. We're playing like a Sabbath thing, tribute to Sabbath, not tribute, an evening of Sabbath music, some Dio sprinkled in on June 4th and 5th in the Ohio area. You can check my website and it'll be on there, and all the major news stations and all the major TV shows. Everybody has it on their site and website. Yeah, right. Okay, next question.
Should the hat be loose, symbol be loose, or
Don't
should
look
it
at me.
be tight?
You got to use.
I know.
She's not used to the
I'm
microphone.
not used to a microphone.
She's going.
That's so funny.
Is the hi hat?
Because I'm used to looking at you.
Man, like this, like.
Okay, ready?
No. The hi hat supposed to be loose
Or tight? How do you have?
or tight? I have it tight. This is tight. This is tight. And if you've seen the prior shows, I'd use this is rubber, not felt. Hard rubber. So you can get this clutch. It's called a clutch. Tight. And I used to use skateboard washers that my roadie years ago cut in half, and it took the place of these. And it's 40. How old is that? And they're still good. They never wear out, and this never wears out. So I like it tight because I like to play fast stuff, and it's easier to, you know. Yeah. See, so I can control it better this way. So that's just the way I play. But like everything with the drums, you should experiment. Same with the seat that's on sale, Chromacast. Try different heights with the seat. I go the lowest. The lowest as this seat goes, that's where I sit. This gives me more power. If I sit up here, I'm not hitting the drum with the rim. It's going to be set up like that. So you always experiment with your drums, with the tuning, with the heights, with the adjustments, and then you get to your comfort zone. You go, you know what, I like this. You might like this hi-hat looser than this, And I only open it like about a finger's thickness, you see. I like to be able to. You could try War Pigs, see if it sounds good. Oh, did I stop this? Yeah, okay. All right, next question.
What's your opinion on drum triggers and electric drum kits?
They suck. Next question.
Oh, no. What do you think about Sammy Davis's drumming?
Sammy Davis is good, man. He used to get up there and play, they all hold a stick like that. Like he was fast. Didn't Sammy Davis play this beat? That's wrong. I'm kidding. That was rock and roll. A bad version of it. Sammy Davis was great. He hung out with Buddy Rich. Johnny Carson was great too. Those guys played really good drums, man, and they weren't really drummers in the first place. So, good stuff. Good question. Okay, next.
Did Ronnie ever play your drum set?
Oh, that's a good question. Gee, maybe once in a blue moon. Everybody else did. Viv would get on and play. Jimmy would get on and play. Andy gets on and plays it over the years. Tony and Geezer didn't do that kind of stuff. So they never did that. It's funny, right? But I think Ronnie once or twice got on my drum kit. I should have taken pictures of that. Blackmail. Well, he plays bass. He plays guitar. He could play little drums, Those guys can. Viv is pretty good. Okay, next.
Do you prefer drum stands or drum racks?
Do I prefer drum racks or drum stands? I used to have a rack system when I was with Tama years ago in the 80s. I had a big set of drums, and it was on the rack. That was the coolest thing in the world. And the only problem with the rack is, like, this tom is a little, it's not where I want it. Let me try to move it, and you try to move the rack, and the whole thing moves. And it was cool for its time, I'd rather use stands, and I don't like stands. Like, this is a double tom stand, right? Chromacast tom stand. It holds two tom-toms. It doesn't hold a cymbal in the middle, although you can put one there, but I hate that crap. Or a cymbal stand that has an attachment so you can put the tom on there. I hate that even more. You got to have a tom stand, cymbal stand for your cymbals, and nothing attached like that. It depends what you're playing. The stuff I play, if I have the tom attached to the cymbal, it goes like this. Hit it hard, boom, and all that stuff. This thing, the cymbal attached is like, now I want to move the toms, I just move the cymbal. I hate that stuff. I like everything to be independent, so I always use stands. But, again, you got to be comfortable, so experiment with this stuff. And don't forget the seat. Most important seat in the house. The seat. Seat makes a big difference, especially as you get older. Not that I'm getting older. I'm getting younger. But the seat, I never had back problems. I have nothing. So I always use good seats. And this is a good seat. Check it out. On sale today. Ask for Vinny. Get something off. Okay.
When you do shows again, will you still do meet and greets?
That's a good question. Meet and greets. Will you still do I'll do meet and greets, yeah. I wouldn't, before shaking everybody's hand, maybe you just do one of these, uh, you know, whatever, So, it's the fans like that. Even if they just come and take a picture with us, we're last in line. We'll be careful, of course. Everybody will have to be whatever the club rules are. Come up and hey, boom, take a picture. We're not going to kiss each other or sneeze on each other, so that's not allowed. So yeah, okay. If you see somebody come up with a drooling nose and he's drooling, his nose is running, you call security. Okay.
Do you have any gates on the mics? And if so, on all channels or specific ones?
Do I have any gates on the mics?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any gates. See, this is a live stream, and this is just live. Actually, I'm coming through Lala's mic. See, I'm coming through this mic, too, which gives it a lot of ambience. Now, look. The mic back. What, take the mic away? The mic back. Now, this is live stream, man. No gates. Bill Gates, but no gates. It's Windows 10. I'm going right through a mixer and then out through a DA, digital audio workstation, which is a sound card, going into Facebook. So, but when I record, I do put some gates on after the fact because you can really hear these drums ringing because I don't have any muffled, I don't have any tape on them, I don't want them to sound natural. So then I'll gate them a little bit, and it sounds great. Really cool. Here, it would be too hard. Plus, I like the noise of it. Everything's ringing. Everything's, that's the thing with a kit. You set a kit up, it sounds like a kit. You set one drum up, it sounds like one drum. The drums as a kit, the vibrations are going into each other, and things are vibrating, and there's a bit of a ring here and there, but the whole kit sounds like a whole kit. So it's like an orchestra of drums. Next.
Back in the day, did you play with the hi-hats higher up?
Back in the day, did I play with the hi-hat higher up? No. Thing is, when it's this height here, see how fast I can up here, it's more of a spread. So I can do a lot of tricky things because it's close to me. See, I play everything kind of close together. The biggest spread is here. This is a 16-inch stick. That's probably a good 17 inches spread. It's hard to get there, So things close like this is faster. Okay, next. Where are we going to eat? We're going to try out a new Mexican restaurant. It's a little further away, but it looks very nice. I'm going to try that tonight. Mexican food. Okay. The hi-hat was close. All right, let's take one more question and go eat.
There's a lot of repetitiveness in the interviews that you do. Is there a story that doesn't get shared a lot from either Dio or Black Sabbath?
That's a good question. That's just what I was talking about with all these interviews. They're the same questions, and the stories kind of are the same. There's these highlights of stories, that I tell that I remember. There's some that I can tell, but it's really behind the scenes stuff. I don't want to embarrass some of the band musicians, But Yeah, they tend, because everybody asks the same question. That's the problem. So, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book, autobiography kind of thing. So we'll see in there. Yeah, there might be some blank pages, and I said there'll be recipes in there for meatballs and spaghetti. What to play when you're making meatballs? It's Italian. So don't forget, check out the seat. You're looking for a seat. You're looking for one of the best seats at a great price. You got it there. And I want to thank Sawtooth, Lala, Lollipop with her own mic now.
Yay.
And Tanya, Fuco, Joe Fuco, Kevin, everybody makes this thing work. And Sawtooth and Chromacast, man, you guys rock. And I love doing this. I love teaching. So you can reach me at my website, vinnyapsey.com. There's an email up there. Okay? And any questions, send them. What the heck? All right, thank you, guys. Be safe. I'll see you next week, okay? I hope you enjoyed the show.